Hi guys, it's Jeff at Slavens Racing. This video is about IRC's latest hybrid knobby called the JX8 Gekkota. Now, the Gekkota part of it's kind of confusing for some of our customers because there's three Gekkotas. There's the IX09, the VE33S, and then this JX8, and they're all called Gekkotas. But don't let that confuse you. It's just marketing stuff, so it's not a big deal. As you guys probably know, last year I ran the VE33S IRC quite a long time. Excellent tire. It's more versatile than this tire is. It's got they call it a semi-gummy, so it lasts longer and it's a little more stable at higher speeds. Might be a little bit better if you're like racing GNCCs, hare scrambles, enduros, that type of stuff. If it's an event where there's a lot of high-speed sections, might be less squirmy, a little more stable. But with all tires, there's always the trade-off. You trade stability for lack of traction in the really tight stuff. But the VE33S has excellent traction. Don't get me wrong, and I still think it's an excellent tire for a lot of our customers, and it's still a very popular tire, very good seller. But this GX8 is very interesting because it's kind of between the IX09 and the VE33S. So the IX09 has a really lightweight carcass, I'll call it a kind of a flimsy carcass with a super gummy compound. And the thing has excellent traction, but it's not a good choice if you're using tubeless because it cuts fairly easily with tubeless. And it would be a good choice with a moose or a tube, but not so much with a tubeless, at least not for me. Not in the conditions I ride in, which are always very rocky and rooty. In Colorado, this time of year, we have a lot of dry, slick conditions. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had lots of rain, so we had magic dirt. And not a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago. And that's when I first put this tire on, this JX8. But let me go back to my, what I was trying to get to, the point I was trying to get to before. So the IX09 is, if you're doing extreme enduros or enduro cross, that type of stuff, IX09 is hard to beat. It's probably the highest traction tire out there, or at least one of the top three for just all-out traction. But it has downsides, like I just mentioned. The VE33S, lasts a lot longer, much less prone to puncturing or cuts because it's a little firmer compound, but it also gives up just a little bit of traction in some of the super gnarly conditions. So this tire kind of falls in between the two. It's got a stiffer carcass. It's got a 3-ply carcass, so that gives it some stability, and it also gives it more puncture resistance and cut resistance. And by cut, I'm talking about like a cut on a sidewall, which is a deal breaker. The tire's pretty much useless after that. Yeah, you can put a boot in them and run a moose or whatever, but for the most part, the tire is shot if you cut the sidewall. So this has a better carcass to it. It's a 3-ply carcass. The others are 2-ply, and but yet it's got the IX09 super gummy rubber compound. And I just watched an IRC video from the IRC channel, the video guy, I think his name is Rich. He puts out some great videos, except for one that I've got a bone to pick with him on, but I'll sort that out with him later. He showed using a durometer on this tire on a brand new one, and it was showing about 40, which is very soft. And let's see what I get here. Is it zeroed? Yes, it is. Yeah, this one's showing about 43 to 45, but it's also got some miles on it and some age on it, so they get firmer with age. The rubber compound does. But anyhow, this is a very gummy tire that you would expect to last about 5 minutes, but it actually holds up pretty well. So like I mentioned before, it's got more stability than the VE33 or the IX09, but yet it's got the gummy compound to give you that great traction. Still probably not as great a traction as the IX09 in really super gnarly conditions where you want the tire to really wrap around the terrain. But this tire's got 200 miles on it. In Colorado, you know, with our dry slick conditions where the tire spins a little more than I'd like, and it's also very rocky, I'm happy if I get 300 miles out of a tire. And this one's at 200, and I think it's gonna easily make 300. And the thing about these gummy tires is even when they look like they're worn out, like this tire looks kind of hammered already. Not bad, but you know, it definitely has some wear to it. They still keep gripping. I mean, like you can't believe. I mean, excellent traction even when they're kind of hammered. So I'm sure I can squeeze another 100 miles out of this thing. Probably go even more, but I'm not going to because I got other tires to test. But what I like about it, it's got a dual compound. So the tread is the gummy compound. The sidewall is the motocross compound. So that also gives it more stability on top of the 3-ply carcass. More stability and more puncture resistance. And last weekend, I was at a friend's ranch. He's got this huge ranch with a lot of gnarly stuff on it. And we go out there and bushwhack once in a while. And we got into some stuff to where the regular tire, there's no way in hell I would have gotten up some of this stuff. I mean, just a motocross tire. There was one point where there was a rock obstacle that I had to get up and over. My buddies had to like push me over. We all had to push to get over this thing. And then after that, we had absolutely no momentum to climb an extremely steep and extremely slick hillside. And with a recluse clutch and this tire, I just rolled the throttle on real gently, didn't even spin it at all, and I got up. But I had to lean way forward to keep the front end down. I mean, it was an extremely tough climb, and this tire, you know, saved my ass. You know, if you're a AA or A level rider and you're riding faster events, GNCCs, that type of stuff, I would guess that none of the gummy tires are probably the best choice for that, because you know those guys that can run that kind of pace, they're more interested in stability. They don't want the back end moving around a bunch on them. And when you're running those speeds, well, it would. The average mortal trail rider, that's not an issue. This tire, even on the faster trails, still feels very stable, excellent traction. I'm happy with the wear rate on it. It's not chunking any knobs or anything. They have, on this tire, they did put more rubber at the base of the knob, you know, curved it out more here to support the knob better so that it wouldn't chunk. And I don't think this tire is going to chunk. It has no signs of chunking yet. I wish I had a new one to show you to compare side by side, but these things are hard to get right now. We get up. You know, we've got a ton of them on order, hundreds of them on order, and we get a few in at a time, and they go in, we put them on the site and they're gone in 5 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating, 5 minutes and they're gone. We can put 50 tires on the site and in 5 minutes they're gone. So it's a very popular tire already, even though there's not a lot of them out there yet. We do have a big shipment of them coming in, I think in a week, maybe 2 weeks. So towards the end of June, first part of July. And but I can't say enough good about this tire. It's been excellent. I've not had any puncture issues. I've definitely wheelied and slammed it into some really gnarly square edge stuff. I'm not saying that it won't puncture, but it's not doesn't seem to be real prone to punctures. You know, excellent. It's worked excellent in super dry conditions, dry slick. It's worked excellent in very wet conditions. I went out and rode it in the rain one day. I've ridden it, you know, a couple hours after the rain when the traction was excellent. In Colorado, when it rains, especially here on the Front Range where I live at about over 6,000 feet, and I ride up to about 10. But where I ride, there's a lot of what's called decomposed granite, and it looks like pea gravel. that stuff is like riding on marbles when it's dry. It feels like you have 2 flat tires and a broken frame or something. I've gotten used to it over the years, and I just, let the bike move around. But for a guy that comes from back east where you've got that Velcro dirt, it's probably pretty unnerving. But when it rains, it goes from crappy dirt to magic dirt. And so anytime we get rain, I just leave the office early and go ride. I'll call a friend or two, or sometimes even go out by myself, which I don't recommend. I do carry a Garmin tracker with me when I do that, but anyhow. Sorry guys, I'm kind of rambling here. Back to the tire. This one's a home run, for gummy compound tires. Gummies are not for everybody, but for the average trail rider, I think is a huge, huge advantage. The IRC guy just posted a video with a super gummy, I believe it was the IX09, that had no knobs on it. It was completely down to the carcass, and it still performed well. I mean, just the compound and the carcass construction made that tire still perform very well. And I think that a lot of us probably take these gummy tires off a little too soon. But bottom line is, heads up, the IRC JX8 is definitely a home run for me. It's kind of my go-to tire rod at the moment, although I've got a lot of other tires to test this summer, and I'll be putting out videos on those guys. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe to us on Facebook. Definitely helps us out. If you appreciate the videos we put out, then help us out a little bit, and subscribe to our channel. Like us on Facebook, and whatever it is on Instagram. I'm sorry, I don't even look at Instagram, but join that as well. And main thing you need to do though is get out and ride. The summers are short, especially in the mountainous states. Summers are short, and get out and enjoy it while you can. I was in a bad accident last year, or a year and a half ago, that came real close to killing me. So I've kind of readjusted my priorities some. I'm riding a lot more and working less. And you never know when a truck's going to run over you, which is what happened to me. So just get out and enjoy life, ride the hell out of your bike, throttle therapy. That's all for now. Hi guys, just want to do a little addendum to the previous video footage that I made on this tire. That was at the 200-mile point. Now I'm at the 300-mile marker here. I would normally probably be taking this tire off, but it works, even though it's got a lot of wear on it, it still works exceptionally well. And I've been riding nothing but really extreme conditions this year. I'm talking about first and second year, barely making it up stuff. Sometimes don't make it up, have to have, we've been riding stuff this year to where we've had to gang up on the bikes and, get 2 or 3 guys to push up something. So that's just what we've been doing lately. And I think probably what I've been riding the last month or so, 98, 99% of my customers probably never ride those kind of trails. So if this tire works well on those trails, it's going to work well everywhere on a trail. And it's my go-to tire right at the moment. It's an excellent tire. I'm going to be putting a 520 DC on here before long, Shinko. I've got, I'm not even sure what I've got back there, but I've got several other tires in the queue that I'm going to be trying out, all gummies. I just love the gummy tires. And I know some guys don't because they wear out quicker, but you either want performance or mileage, but you usually don't get both. And I always go for the performance. I don't want to be on my head because I can't get up something and because the tire can't handle it. Anyhow, 300 miles at this point. I'm going to run this thing until it's really toast, and I might give you a report on that. I'm not sure. If I remember to do it, I will. But overall, this JX8 is excellent. We have a hell of a hard time keeping them in stock. Supplies this year on a lot of products is very poor. This COVID thing is still kind of kicking the butt of the motorcycle industry and a lot of other industries as far as supply issues. I mean, contractors, bicycle shops, you name it. It seems like everybody has supply issues right now. And we're having the same issue on this. We got in just a small shipment of these today. I think 60 of them came in, and we posted it on our website, and within an hour they were all gone. We got some of those 520 DCs in, and they sold in 10-15 minutes. We didn't get very many in. Those have just been kind of trickling in. So if you're interested in either one of these tires, you should give us a call and just order them up, and then as soon as they come in, you'll be the first guy to get them. But a big thumbs up on the IRC JX8. It's definitely a home run tire for me, for the type of riding I do. It's holding up well. Yes, it's got quite a bit of wear to it, but the side knobs, yeah, they got a little crack in here and there, but none of them have chunked off yet. I expect one or two will before I'm done with it, but all right, guys, I'll stop rambling and let you get back to drinking a nice cold beer and get out and ride.